underway. Steve, you'll do the opening karakia.
I will. Karakia tātou. Tue ki runga, tue ki raro, tue ki roto, tue ki waho, tue tātou te tangata, kei te kaupapa o te hui nei, kei te kaupapa o te rangi nei. Muri ora a tātou katoa.
Thanks, Steve. For that housekeeping, we are being live streamed out on Zoom. Just to note there that early in the piece, we will be breaking into a PX for one item, public excluded, and then returning to public and continuing because we've got someone online there that is going to be talking to us about our insurance needs. So we'll work through those. The meeting is being recorded and will be available on Council's YouTube channel. Please keep your microphones muted unless you're speaking. Just indicate to me if you need to speak and I'll catch my eye and I'll endeavour to do people in the order that they come up. If you're on Zoom, if you could please turn off your camera and microphone during breaks and certainly microphone off unless you're actually participating at the time. Fire toilets are out the door to the left as you go out. Exits over here on the side. And I think we meet up over the road in the unlikely event of an emergency. We may also have media present and they may be filming all the part of the meeting. This portion of the meeting is public. And for anyone that's hard of hearing, we do have hearing assistance available. So if anyone needs that, please just make one of the staff members aware that are present. Micah, etc. is at the table there. Apologies. I'm not aware of any apologies currently. You, Mackenzie.
No, not through you, Chair. Apology for lateness from Deputy Mayor Bryant. He will be here, but he's just on a Zoom call at the moment. Noted,
and I suggest that we give him leave of absence until he's finished his council-related Zoom call, if everyone's happy with that. Don't see any objections. Do we need a formal motion? Okay, well, I'll move that we give Councillor Bryant leave of absence until he's finished his council-related Zoom call. Do I have a seconder? All those in favour? Against, if any? No abstentions. Noted. Carried. We do have a public forum matter that we will come to just briefly, but I may just move forward before we do that of declarations of interest. Is there any new declarations of interest besides the one I'm about to declare? As Chair, I'm been appointed and commenced this week as Chair of West Coast Regional Council Audit and Risk Committee. So I just ask that that be entered into the conflicts register and make sure that all elected members are aware of that. At that point, I propose to go to public forum, and I believe we've got Mr. Schaeffner available. Welcome. And the usual processes apply on this, which, Mr. Schaeffner, are you aware of those processes?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I'll hand the floor to you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to comment a few points that are in the reports that are on the agenda today for this meeting. And the first one is in this, what you call the health, safety and well-being report. There's a section about psychosocial risk and that staff is facing aggressive, intimidating behavior from members of the public and especially landowners when staff is attempting to access private property. I think that's only half the story, right? And the other half is missing, and I'd like to clarify this. We have private property rights in this country. I think there's no doubt about this. And people should be sure who can access who has authority to access my private property. But this council doesn't publish the appointment register.
You're putting too much in. For heads, it's
Whoever is there online, please mute your microphones. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry about that interruption, sir.
No issue taken. And if the appointment register is not published online, how do people know who is acting on behalf of the council? And further on this, there's statutory requirement that these enforcement officers that come to my property, that they show their warrant of appointment. And I've been trying for the last 3 years continuously to see the warrant of appointment when they came to my property 3 years ago, but until today, they have not produced their warrants. And then recently I learned that the council changed their practice in regards to what documents they show when they come to private property. And there was no mention on the website or a public meeting or any document that's accessible for the public. And this creates confusion and frustration to private property owners. Then we have the whole issue about the warrant of authority that required 2 signatures, but all the documents I've seen, there was only 1 signature from the chief executive, and the signature from the mayor was somehow missing. And several members of the public, I think, pointed this out, but there was never a comment from the council on this. So I think that's the other half of the story, why people are frustrated and sometimes aggressive. Yeah, that's a strong word, but at least heavily frustrated. Then coming to the other report that's on the agenda today, it has the title External Audit Matters. And yeah, there's one point is that you want to finally adopt the annual report after the election. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this in terms of the law, but I find it a bit concerning that newly elected councillors should adopt the report from the last financial year. They have just being a few days in office after their oath. I find it unreasonable that they can make an informed decision on that. And I just would like to give you one example. After the last election, we had a councillor sitting here a half year after the last election. He said openly in a public meeting, I don't know what Legoima is. I need more information. I need a workshop. So how can we expect that a few days after the election, newly elected councillors would be able to make a really informed decision to approve an annual report, what happened in this council over the last 3 years? So I find it concerning. And then the third and last point I'd like to make also in regards to the same report, it's point 64, and I'm quoting, there have been no known or suspected frauds in this year. I find this really, I'm lost for words, to be honest, because at least for me, there are several instances of suspected fraud. I have seen other members of the public that also had knowledge of quite a number of suspected instances of fraud. And I think it would be beneficial if this council puts out a public statement what they consider as fraud. My understanding comes from the website of the Auditor General, and this is simple and clear what he says. He said it's improper gain or unjust gain by deception. And I think I have seen this a lot, and I have documents in this regards. And other members of the public also showed me documents that fall within this definition of fraud. My time is limited, so I cannot present you a whole lot of list of this. Just maybe one item so that we're all on the same page. Let's imagine an officer of this council handed in a forged document to the court. I would consider this as fraud. And I have evidence to this, and council staff was informed to this. So I'm a bit puzzled that we see such a statement. There have been no known or suspected instances of fraud this year. So what I would really get out of this is what's the process that I need to follow that I have hundreds, if not even thousands of pages of document over the last couple of years that I could bring forward so that we don't have the statement of no known instances of fraud, because I don't know what the process is. I tried my best. It's a lot of effort for members of the public to collect all this information, to go through case law and legislation and all of this, and then nothing happens. It's frustrating to at least. And I can give you one example because it's clearly in my head. It was probably the most frustrating example. It was last year in March when I read through a document from the Tasman District Council on a Friday evening, and I found something really concerning. And I walked through this the whole weekend, compiling documents, collecting evidence, writing a report of 12 or 13 pages. So I send it off on Monday morning to the chief executive, and I only get a response with one line in the email, and it says, "I'm not willing to look at this." I'm quoting, and basically my whole weekend wasted. And so what I'm lacking is what is the process that I need to follow, that my work, let's call it public participation, is actually recognized or has value for this council and ultimately for the greater benefit of our whole community in the Tasman district. And that's really my question today. And this is my last point. Because I like to help as much as I can this council and the community, but over the last few years, I have not seen that my help is really appreciated by a lot of people within your organization. Thank you, and I'm happy to take questions.
Have any of the councillors got any direct questions on the content that has just been presented to us? I think I might just note that there is a whistleblower policy that is published on the website, I believe. Can someone confirm that? And that's probably the direct route to go through.
I'm not sure, but it probably only applies to elected representatives, but not to members of the public, if I'm correct. Yeah,
That is correct. Okay.
I had a look into this a few weeks ago. Yeah,
I think the points have been raised, and I think I'll just request that they are taken forward to the next appropriate, whether it's Audit and Risk Committee or other committee, for a considered response to the matters that you have raised.
okay, thank you very much.
Be aware as chair, and I'll be now looking for a response from the officers.
Okay, thank you.
Matters raised.
If you have further questions after this meeting, feel free to contact me. The council has my phone number and email address.
Thank you. I'm sure it's on council record somewhere. The next item on the agenda is the confirmation of the minutes of the meeting held on Thursday, 12 December, to be confirmed as a true and correct record of the meeting. The minutes have been separately circulated. Do I have a mover and seconder for that? Councillor Mackenzie, and thank you, Independent Member Elstrom. Any discussion on those papers? No items of error or matters arising that have not been taken up? I'd move then that, the resolution is that the minutes of the Audit and Risk Committee held on Thursday, 12 December 2024 be confirmed as a true and correct record of the meeting. All those in favour? Against, if any? Carried. And then we've got the confidential minutes on the same date that have been separately circulated. Do I have a mover and seconder for that? Councillor Mackenzie. Councillor Walker, are you happy to second? Thank you. Any discussion on those minutes? Any matters arising that haven't been picked up? Thank you. I'll put the motion that the confidential minutes of the Audit and Risk Committee held on Thursday, 12 December 2024 be confirmed as a true and correct record of meeting. All those in favour? Against, if any? No abstentions noted. Carried. Thank you. We'll now move towards public exclusion, and that the Audit and Risk Committee confirms that in accordance with sections 48.5, 48.6 of the Local Government Official Information Meetings Act 1987, that Matt Meacham from Marsh be permitted to remain after the public has been excluded for item 7.2 of the confidential agenda. Assets insurance, as they have knowledge that will assist the meeting in its decision making. That the public be excluded from the following parts of the proceedings of this meeting, the general subject of each matter to be considered while the public is excluded, the reason for passing this resolution in relation of each matter, and the specific grounds under section 48(1 of the Local Government Official Information Meetings Act 1987 for the passing of this resolution as follows. This resolution is made in reliance on section 48(1)(a) of the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987 with particular interest or interest protected by section 6 or 7 of that act, which will be prejudiced by the holding of the whole or relevant part of the proceedings of the meeting in public. And the item is assets and insurance. And we also, for staff members, we have got Mike and Zashini to remain. Now, do I have a mover for that? Thank you, Councillors Mackenzie and Walker. Any discussion? Yeah, sorry, Councillor Walker.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll put the others into the
Into the meeting room. So there being no further discussion, all those in favour? Against, if any? Carried.